welcome back to the Clay Studio. I'm Gomati Sivasankaran and we are in class 4 of the Dhairya Lakshmi painting, one of the 8 forms of Lakshmi avatars, the goddesses that are celebrated for all types of positive propensities of life that is health, wealth, and all terms of prosperity. So we have the kind of Lakshmi that we are celebrating and also working on in this series, which is Dhairya Lakshmi. Dhairya refers to courage or valor, and there is also another name to that, Veera. So she's also called Veera Lakshmi in many ways. So both mean the same. So we have done what we have done in the past 3 sessions was essentially focusing on this idea and planning on this idea, because even though the painting or this idea is nothing new, and there are zillion paintings on this, there's zillion artworks on that, till we gave it a different touch by adding the idea of taking girl children instead of women as the key character, and also we had taken diversity as the propensity for us to work on in this painting, and we do have a very different cultural related girl here that we have painted. So the planning really took us the first session, and then the second session really was about building that plan into executing the plan into the canvas, which we did. Once that was done, once the execution was done, what we had to do in the third class was to refine the execution with help of the second layer, fulfilling the second layer using colors. So we just gave colors in blocked spaces. It's blocking or filling. That's what we did. So now we are ready. This canvas is totally dry, and now we are ready to start working on the layer 3. For the layer 3, we will start with working on the girl's face and her hands, essentially focusing on the skin tone and trying to build a little bit of dark versus light. So this dark versus light will be a key lesson for our layer 3, because we have to now, this image is looking flat, really flat. So what we have to now build is some kind of reality, and for that we need the help of dark versus light to show where things are dark, where things are light. And that's exactly why I got the printouts made in black and white, so we could see there is some shades that are gray and some shades that are totally black, some that are really in between gray and black, some are really white. So you can actually tell the tonality ranges. So that's the same that we are going to build here in the picture. And for starting, we will have some colors, like for example using ivory black, burnt umber, yellow ochre, a crimson, maybe also primary yellow. These colors will be needed. That's what I can guess, to the at least in the beginning. And then of course there is titanium white that's always going through most of the time. So I use titanium white. It's not that that's the best range. There is also a mixing white, there is flake white, there is zinc white. There's so many other forms of white, and I have tried the other whites as well. In I think they have their own variations and they look slightly different. So you can choose the kind of white that you're comfortable with. Titanium white is by default available if you are buying a set of oil paints and such. Otherwise you can use other whites. Even when I'm using titanium white, you will see that I will mix a slight bit of yellow ochre so that the white doesn't show totally white. Like for example, in when you want to show her teeth, just put up the titanium white, and you will know that that's not the color of the teeth. So with all that, now let's get started with the coloring. And in terms of brushes, I'm going to use then small brushes only. I have some round brushes, and I'll just tell you when I'm picking up each of the brush. I have a zero brush also with me ready. So burnt umber. Let me put up her picture here so we can focus on her. Okay, so I'm thinking of burnt umber as a base, and then I want to build on some. Now, when we are filling, when we were filling the layer 2, we were just using one color here, one color there, and just going on doing it just like children do. But this time we are going to have a couple of color tonalities. So if it is the burnt umber that you're using, you will have a lighter version of that also. So I'm going to mix burnt umber and have also a little bit of primary yellow added to see how things go. And I will mix and show you also in my palette. I will have a little bit of titanium white ready anyways. I use it frequently, so. Taking brush number 1 flat, and I'll just show you what I'm doing here. So I'm going to mix these two colors. So taking primary yellow and adding that to burnt umber. So what I have done is that I have mixed these two colors, 3 colors, that is the yellow and the vermilion and burnt umber, and I've got this nice darker color. I did the same thing here, added a little bit of titanium white, and it turned so much on the lighter side, and that gives the lighter tone in her skin. I want the darker tone to be fixed, so I'm adding a bit of titanium white, but not too much. So I want that, I want to bring it to that color that is close to her skin tone. Sometimes, you add blue also, it will give another range. It's just checking for the similarity. So, black here. And seeing where that goes. I want to be at least 80% there with the color. It's not the final layer. I'm aware of it, but still at this point it's really helpful that we get the color close to what we want. Could be one notch lighter. It's there, but white isn't helping much in the process. White is lightening it in a way that it is. So I think we need to stop using the white, and here I want to trust the yellow again to do the job of lightening versus, giving it the tonality. So I'm going to go for a little more of primary yellow. So this is in learning here, because the closer we can get to the color at this point in the layer 3, the better it is. when we move on to the further layers. We would have learned more, and we would have also given the kind of uh, touches that it could, help us show that beauty of her skin tone very well. I think it is there. It's there. Yes, it's close. I would say it's 80% close. So this is where I want to start working on the layer. So I'm starting with a darker tonality. I have the lighter tonality ready. That was a very simple thing. I added only the three colors, and I added a little bit more of titanium white, and I got the lighter tonality. So I have two tonalities ready. Let's work on the darker tonalities now. So now we define where is the dark and where is the light, and for that, if you want to go back to the black and white image and focus on it, that's also helpful. I'm going to do that. Here a little bit underneath, and then right on top of her eyes. Here underneath her eyes, here slightly. Okay, and this section, her ears have that darker skin tone here, and this one. And when we come to the cheek line, that's a beautiful cheek line. That's where you get to see that it's also here. And then underneath her chin, that's where the shadow is created, and that's even darker. So you can actually go bold and add a bit of ivory black here to get it even more darker. We can do it later also. At this point, just fill it in. Okay, and now we have managed to put in all the darker tonalities. Let us get to the dark tonalities in the hands also, like that. And for the hands, of course, we don't have the picture of the hands here, but we do have the second reference or the first reference, prime reference of our painting, that can tell you where the light and dark is. Okay, in the arms, I can see where exactly. So I'm doing the arms only, and her arms are slightly thinner, and I'm going to make it one notch thicker. When we this arm is right, I think the other three aren't so good, so I'm going to work on that when I do this, when I finish this. So I'm doing the arms here as well on the other side. Oh, this is an awesome skin tone. All right. This arm is really on the darker side because you cannot see much. And here, so the sides where the shades are falling, or the place where where there is less light, opportunity for less light to show, that's where. And when you do the fingers, also use this darker tonality for the fingers. Each and every finger, fill it in, but not the whole of the hand. All of the hand, I'll tell you. We'll use the lighter tonality also. When we start using the lighter tonality, it will give a little more meaning here. You'll get to see that. And now I go back to the lighter skin tonality. Yes. And I'm going to start filling in the other sections as well. So I need to go back, switch back to fantastic. So let's do that part as well. So I'm filling in the other spaces. Okay. Around the eye. We'll have to work on her eye also a little bit more on the detail side. We'll come to that the moment we are done with filling in this. And that's when we use a little more of the zero brush to do a bit of detailing. Not too much, but a little bit of detailing is needed at this point as well. So we do that. Okay. You can see that her face is now, kind of coming up with this dark and light. Even though it's an early stage, you can still see that there is something coming up here. Yes, I have done the neck as well. I'm going to go ahead with the same color to fill in the rest of the hand, whatever, the wrist, the palm, wherever it isn't dark, I'm going to fill that in, and also readjust a little bit with the hand because it looks off, slightly off the sizes here. I'm reworking on that, and I'm just mixing those color tonalities there. Really, in this case, the titanium white isn't helping much here. For her skin tone at least. You let me know, in your comments if you are using any other white than what I'm using and how you're feeling about it. Sometimes, like I said, the titanium white is always a good color to lighten up things, but it doesn't really do the job in terms of showing the real tonality or something, especially when we work on the skin. But you can still, work with it, work around rather. All right, and this hand also slightly, I had to increase the circumference of her arm, and I'm doing it simultaneously while I fill in those sections. So instead of one color to use the fill in all these parts where the body color, skin color is visible, you're using two different color tonalities and you are filling in parts. All right, so now okay. But I think it's time for us to move on to creating some more of reality. And for that, we need the burnt umber mixed with ivory black will be a good color. We are going to use a bit of titanium white You can use a little bit of titanium white on the sides of the eye, for in my case, I feel that what I have done already looks fair enough. I'm just going to touch it a bit and then move on. I'm not going to do a lot of work there. Yeah. If I just want that layer to happen, so I'm just taking the zero brush and taking a bit of ivory, sorry, titanium white, and I want, like I said, I don't want the titanium white to be totally on the whitey side. I'm just adding whatever skin color I have, and just a pinch of it, because it's again a minor brush. It's a zero micro brush, and I'm just refining this space that I did. I think whatever I did in the previous layer, I'm okay with that spacing wherever I did. Just filling in that. I need to make it look slightly thinner, and that will happen when I do the ivory black mixed with, or rather, it's what do you call, burnt umber. It will have a bit of ivory black mixed to it, and that will give you the kind of, because this, you can think that it's a black color, the hair is black, the eye color is black, but essentially if you look at it, with a micro what do you call, a microscopic view, you will see definitely that it isn't an ivory black though. So add a bit of ivory black to your burnt umber, so it will turn black, but then you'll have that browny tinge of it. That will be a good color to work with. So I'm going to work on the iris area one more time. So I'm just filling that in and taking a little bit more of the space here and there, which wasn't done previously. I think that looks fine. The spacing looks fine now. Now that I'm done with it, I'm ready to work on the under eye and also the upper eyelid. Again, the same color tone and zero brush, micro brush, anything that is working for you. Yeah, just slowly go over the thin underlayer, under eye. Very thin one. Even though we aren't working on the details at this point, it's really helping for us to define these spaces nicely, so we can focus on more on the other areas equally. Yeah, because if it's not done, it's not going to help you in understanding if you have done any mistakes, or understanding where the errors are. Yes, so can you see the eye is coming out nicely now? And I'm just going to give the slight bit of eyelid effect there, because that's also helping in the process. Need a bit of the skin color to add there as well. Okay, so I'm taking the lighter skin color and putting a tiny bit inside the eye to just give that effect. Yeah, so this looks good for this eye, and I'm going to work on the other eye as well the same way. Same zero brush, doing the thin underlayer first. Under eye. first, and then the upper eyelid. Okay. The other line, the line where the eyelid is, folding there, that line also is helpful. There you go. She's, beginning to look well now. And I'm going to use the skin color to fill in a little bit in the center of the eye to give the light. I'm not using white at all. It isn't helping. Maybe it helped for our, layer 2, but not now. Going back to the burnt umber, ivory black. We leave it there. Fair enough. Now let's work on her eyebrows. Her eyebrows again are a tad bit, in the same color zone. They are, slightly in the lighter side because they are of a child. That's also there, they have the way it is. So I'm adding a bit of the darker skin color to this burnt umber. So it doesn't get totally dark. And I'm using that to just mark the sections of her eyebrow. Done. The other one is here. Let's do that. I think looks fair enough. It isn't the best, but it comes close to what we want. Now it's time for us to work on her teeth as well. That's again this color that we used for the eye. What did we do to the titanium white? We added a little bit of a skin color, isn't it? So we could get a off-white kind of, and not a full white. So let's do the filling of that space one more time. And then we'll come back to work on her lip. So that space is filled now. I wanted to do it in this angle also, so that's working. Yeah, it's fair enough. Yes, I stop here with that color, and I think I'm going to move on to using the burnt umber to mark a few other features. That is her the burnt umber mixed a little bit with ivory black. Yeah, that's what I'm going to use to do the nose. That's a beautiful spot. And then the curve. Wow. Curves of the nose are really, really delicate here. Just watch out for that. This is the curve. So if you look at the way I've been doing, I just did the pores and then brought it down nicely here to kind of show there. It's a very slight U kind of, to show the nose, the nostrils, middle section, and then the sides are like a curvature there. Just be careful with the curvatures. And yeah, there's another thing. Do you really want to copy and do the kind of face structure, bone structure that you see here? That's another thing. But I really like it, so I want to try to take at least 80% from what I see here. That's my goal, kind of. So I'm using this dark color again in this zone, and I think. But if I go back to the brush number 1 that I used for the skin tone and blend these darker tonalities here, then we are mixing the third dark sections also to give the effect of what's needed here. That's one. I'm adding a bit of white here on the center to see how the nose is, responding on the titanium white. Is really not the right color, I can tell, but I'm just doing it for the sake of seeing the dark versus light. So we are still sticking to the logic of dark versus light, so things can, show up for us. Mistakes can show up for us better. But we will come back to nicer color tonalities when we do the upcoming layers. But this is helping in the process of seeing how things are. And that's exactly what I want to focus on. Dark versus light. Let's keep that logic of our session intact. Keeping right now, I switched back to the zero brush with the burnt umber mixed with black color tone to do the cheek section, and I'm going to use the brush number 1 to blend that in ever so lightly. So I've got that. I will essentially use the same dark burnt umber tonality for marking her lip, even though I know that it's going to be in the pink range, the crimson range. I'm not switching colors because right now I just want to see where is dark and where is light, and this is helping me in the process, so I'm just keeping to that. And once we are done with this, we are sure of where things are, then it will help us to make things easier for us in the upcoming layers. That's when we focus only on the exact color, and we know where is dark and where is light, so it's easier that way. So we're just breaking down this task into pieces that is easily digestible for us and also understandable for us. Yeah. So I'm doing the lip lines. She's got a beautiful lip line. Oh my God, she's a beauty. She's a beauty. Okay. I couldn't have found a better, picture for this concept. Dhairya Lakshmi, Lakshmi, and she's just that. She's just that. Yeah. So I have done the darkest of the skin tones, and use the skin tone color, the lighter skin tone that we used on the cheek. Use that to give the light in the lip. Good. I think that is working, and let's now go back to using the darker skin tone color to work on her ears. Do you see that the curvature in her ear, there is the space that is slightly darker? The pores in her ear, that usually shows up slightly darker. Just keep that in mind and shade it accordingly. Here as well. Yeah, cool. It's coming out well, and I want to work again on this with a slightly darker tonality. But before that, the most important section that will give us a little more, dimension is the hair. Mm-hmm. Let's work on that. For that, I'm just going to pick up another brush. Altogether, I'm looking for brushes. Okay, I think I have brush number 3, round, and that is good enough for me. What kind of color tone is her hair? It isn't black. It is looking black, but if you add burnt umber and ivory black, I'm telling you, you will come close to that kind of black that you are looking at in her hair. So I'm going to do that as well. Brush number 3. Now, there I go. I will fill in. But before I fill in, what I'm going to do is that the skin color. Why? Do you see that, the way she's plaited her hair, there is skin color visible all around. Did you see that? Can we fill that in with skin color? So fill these sections with skin color because there is skin visible. The way she's plaited her hair, her skin is visible definitely. So let's do that. And then let's get back to the burnt umber mixed with black to do the hair. This is when we have the right propensity, right kind of tonality coming is good. I can see that. I'm just filling this also here nicely. So it is on the blacky side, but you see that it is also coming close to the tonality because, yeah, it's because we chose to mix these two colors. So now I've got the right color and I will just use a little bit around to give that, darky effect on her forehead, just to give that shade on her forehead, to see how things are. And now that I am done with this hair, I'm beginning to see how she is looking a little more clearly. And now I need that kind of, whatever we used. We did use the same kind of, burnt umber mixed with ivory black. I'm going back to the zero brush. And now I can start working on some other details as well. That is not too much of a detail, but then it's an important one to show how the face is structured. So I'm just going to do that line that is coming through very, very soft and smooth. Cheek line. Coming down to the chin. And I will also blend it in wherever I can. I just want that line to show through to help me understand if I've got it right. Her neckline also. So now that the line is here, it helps now to blend that in ever so lightly. I'm going to take that hair color that I used boldly and take a little bit, pinch a little bit here around her, cheek to kind of help me go back to the skin color and darken it really underneath her chin. That's where, it's enhanced, the look is enhanced her. Yes, she is looking good here. Okay, I can see that, we've got her, the key tonality is done. Just going to darken this a little bit more. Not work too much on this right away. So I'm just doing it, blending it, getting it there. And I guess we are done with the face as such, in terms of what we want to do. And one thing that is left over is that I want to add a tiny bit of black inside the lip line. Ivory black mixed with the burnt umber inside the lip line to kind of, give that effect of the fold of her lip. Yeah. So this is kind of looking so serene and yes, I'm happy with this. What I'm going to do is to now proceed with the same kind of action for the hands as well. So for the hands, what we need to do is that we have mixed colors already. We just need to work on the fingers. For the fingers, we'll go back to using we have the zero brush, the burnt umber mixed with black, ivory black ready. I think that will be a good one for us to work on. The hand and the fingers. Let's do the arm to make things easier for us. Okay, so the arm. It's easier to mark the rims of the arm like this. We are going to blend that in, so don't worry too much. I'm just doing that right now to show you where the arm lines are, and also to use that to blend. I will use more of it on this side because that's where the darkness is, isn't it? So, and when we refine this also, we can see if there is any mistakes done. There is here. I can fix this right away. All right. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this arm, I understand we have a lot of arms to work on. And that's also why I said, if we had let it dry, let the layer 2 dry and then started work on layer 3 like this, it would be much easier for us to focus and also easier for us to correct any kind of errors that we could have done. So I'm only marking the contours of the arm to make things easier for me. Now I can see if there is any mistake done or if I should go ahead and adjust again. this arm needs adjustment. It looks like needs to be slightly on the thicker side. Fixed. Kind of fixed. This is okay. And then the arm that is in the hiding. This arm kind of had an error. I have now noticed that and fixed that. And we will, work on the rest of it like that. Okay, so I have done the arms. Now I'm going to blend those tonalities because they are looking totally strong here. I'm going to blend them ever so lightly. I'll use the lighter skin color for the lighter side and take that contour in. The top of the layers are, slightly on the lighter side. So I'm just using the lighter skin color to blend it in there. I think I accidentally took a lot of white or something. So. The top layer is blending in. The lines are still visible, but it's blending in. Yeah. And let's do the top layers also here. So we're just attacking things section by section, as you can see. So it's not pressurizing, we're just doing section by section. Just need to focus on one section at a time, one angle at a time, one contour at a time. Yeah. Now we work on the darker of the skin tones, blending that in here. And that I think I will just blend in because this burnt umber that we have added is just going to help in the process. So I'm just going to blend it in the way it is alongside. Yeah. So that makes things easier. And here, just remember there is this slight bulge of the elbow. Yeah. Remember that. Do not draw straight lines. Create that kind of elbow thing. So in the layer 3, what you're learning here is just an amazing set of work to start bringing dark versus light into the picture and kind of, give that effect of dark versus light and let that play around. And you will further grow this also in the next upcoming layer. Okay, the arms are all looking fair enough now. Now we need to work on the fingers. That's a little bit of tough task, but you can go line by line, section by section, just like the way we did it, isn't it? So how do we do that? I'm just looking at the year. I shouldn't be doing it, but yeah, I just need to do the refinement here. Okay, so if we come back to the fingers, how do we do that? Look at each finger and think of each finger's contour like, doing the contour only. So you're not going to go into the details of, oh, the finger has this line here, this line, we need to show all this, we need to show the bulge. We need to do that, I agree. Maybe we'll do it in the next time. Just focus on the contour of a finger It's a very simple, you know, it's not a straight line. Yeah? When you see that it's not a straight line, you do this. This is one contour that you see of my finger, and then it goes around like a U, and then it bends around like this. So this is the fold, slightly bent finger. So you just have a couple of angles to work with. So if you go finger by finger like that, zero brush, burnt umber, and black, you are ready. Yes. Let's do the thumb first. The thumb helps to, the easier thing is to do the thumb first, because the thumb is the thing is one of the fingers that is, slightly off. The size is different, and also it gives that kind of bulge here, this whole bone structure here in our arm. We can show this, and that you do separately, and then you do, the moment you're done with that, you can focus on the rest of the palm, the finger and such. Yeah. And yeah, let's do that. And then when we come to the blending and putting in skin color and such, I'll just show you. The moment I've done with one of those hands, all those folds of the finger, look at the curves and look at how big the finger is. Sometimes, it's a folded one, so you are only seeing only this portion. Maybe you're seeing this and this. So just see that what are you seeing, and use the reference. So that you have done. And right now what it is that we use the darker color to fill it in, isn't it? The smartest way that we did is that we use the darker color to fill it in. Use the zero brush itself to shade, bring in the contours nicely, shade, and then use the lighter of the skin tones that you mixed to highlight the sections where there is light falling. Wasn't that easy? Now, see, it can be. There is light falling, it's falling here. So I'm just filling in those sections. You see, so it was totally dark. And now I'm only throwing the lighter tonality in spaces where the light is falling. Wasn't that easy? Cool. So one hand done. We have 7 more to go. Yes? How are we doing with the time? Nearly there, we'll do it. So this arm is holding the arrow, and that has the angle of the thumb going like this. We can do the arrow next if you're really confused. Avoid the arrow shape if you are wanting to go around it the way you want to do it, the way you want to first, and then you can fix things later when you work on the green or whatever color it is. It's I think it should be meta color. So that's one. And isn't the sword coming and hiding the hand? I think it should. Let's do this. Let's fill this in. And then, of course, when we do the sword, we can hide the hand if you want. So blend the color in slightly on the edges, wherever, because it's already dark, everything gets darker. And then add lighter tonalities wherever the skin should show, like shine out. Now it's easier to mix. And I'm using the same brush to blend. Okay, so one more hand done. So the others, I think I will go for the hand which is, blessing us. That's a little easier, and then we can decide on what to do where the other hand is. The thumb is like this. That's the palm, and that's how the palm angle is going. Okay, now I need the lighter skin color to show where the finger is. The thumb doesn't look right, at least the spacing doesn't look right. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit more. Fair enough. Going back to the skin color. This is done. Let's do the last hand here, this side. Okay, what is left over is that this finger is holding on like this, and then you have the folds of other three fingers, and then there should be the sword's base appearing a little bit somewhere. So let's leave it there. Leave it there and leave this dark slightly. Okay, skin color. Yes, I think I have managed that fine now. Let's go on to the side over here. The easiest one is right here because this is just and let's do the palm here. Okay, the fingers. Okay, so I think I am ready to fill in the skin color and lighten up the space. Okay, shading it here, taking a little bit more of the lighter skin tonality to give the highlight here. This finger is slightly, bent. I have to just do that. I think it is also bent there. The palm, that is visible here, we need to really use the lighter skin tonality inside the palm, because both the hands that are open really show that's exactly where the light is falling. So just do that. Have it slightly lighter. Done. We're done with these two hands, I think. Just adding a little bit of darker tonality here to the bowl. And now we are ready to work on two other hands. Let's do this one first. Thumb goes first. The finger that is holding up. That's where I wanted to adjust certain things. Yes, I noticed an error here. That's the angle that was not right. So just rubbing off with another brush and doing the root right. Okay. So when you also do the hands, what you're checking is that, is this really matching the size and the angle of the arm that is, stretching out. Yeah? It should not look like the hand is perfect, the arm is perfect, but they don't talk to each other. It's looking like it's from different person. So I have filled in that. Adding lighter skin tonalities in the sections where I want to show the arm or the hand, the palm and such. Okay, we managed it fine here. Ready for the last but not the least. This also has the thumb holding onto the bow. There is this bow that is going to hide the hand. You can either do it the way it is and leave that bow space, or you can paint it first in this exercise, and then when we come to the other sections in the next class, you can readjust it. It's up to you. think I am nearly there. If you need more time to work on this, it's okay. We have really spent some time focusing on getting some things right, and as much as possible we want to have it right so that it gets easier when we move on to the upcoming stages. But in case if it doesn't come right, do not get paranoid. We keep on working. It's work in progress. Yeah, we keep on working and improvise it further. So let's make a stop here and take a look at what we have done. So what we have done here today is to give the we start with the third layer, and to give that detail of the third layer a little bit and focus on giving the essence of what is dark and what is light in the picture. And we have started the journey with the skin tonality, which is the toughest section, but also we did a little bit of um, the skin tonality plus the eyes detail, the nose detail, and also the lip detail. So we have worked a lot on all these things. I'm just looking at sections where I could improvise before I make a stop with this. See the way her chin is, the sections of the cheek where there is a good angle, and I'm just doing that, fixing it before we are stopping today's class. So these are nice sections that we could improvise at this stage itself, and then it becomes easier for us to work on the upcoming stages. Yes, so with this we make a stop, and it's been an interesting journey, I think, for us to see how the flat picture can be turned into something that we could say, okay, there is something coming up here. So that really helped us define certain things with the face and the arms. Now we'll have to continue the same thing on the rest of the body, and also working a little bit on her jewelry and all the elements that she is having, and the lotus, and of course the background as well in the next class. That's what we will be focusing on in our next class. Until we meet for the next class, I wish you to have a very good day. Stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, stay motivated. Let's meet up. Bye bye.